Fortnite activates time rifts, and more coming up on today's episode of the latest in tech news. Hey, Gadget here. You're just in time for the latest episode of the world's only 3-in-1 show on tech, gadgets, and gaming news. That's right, this is the latest in tech news. My name is Taylor Merrick, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss out on the next episode. We do this on quite a regular basis, and so we want to make sure that you guys are up to date and current with all the news going on. Speaking of which, well, our feature stories will be taking a look at Fortnite activates a rift beacon that's about to time warp Neo Tilted, and I have a little bit of juicy information about just how far back we're going. We'll also be taking a look at NEC's passenger drone taking a short test flight in Japan. I had to include this because this was funny. A robot tail could help to reduce the risk of falling for elderly people, according to Japanese scientists. And finally, we'll be taking a look at Twitch being a little bit salty at Ninja. But before we get into that, there's no Did You Know segment today, and I know you're usually used to it, but we'll be hopping right on over to Today in Tech History. Alright, today is August 5th, 2019. On this day in history, in 1858, after 4 failed attempts, American merchant Cyrus Westfield succeeds in completing the first successful transatlantic telegraph cable. Completed approximately 2 months after construction began, the cable is only operational for just over a month. However, this cable proved the feasibility of transatlantic communications, and he went back to raise more funds to complete the first permanent telegraph line in 1866. Also, on this day in history, in 1975, Mirapac settles its suit against IBM. And for those of you who are like, what went on? Well, in an example of the many and sometimes obscure legal challenges faced by IBM Corp due to its dominance in the computer market, Mirapac Inc. settled an antitrust suit against the computer giant. Mirapac had charged IBM in 1973 with attempting to monopolize the industry for computers to control the weight of snack food packaging. The settlement also involved IBM's agreement to withdraw a counterclaim against Mirapac, I think because it was just stupid, sort of like, yeah, forget it. So, yeah, with that out of the way, let's head on over to today's feature story. Alright, so, for those of you wondering, yes, we have video if you're listening to the audio version of this. Just head on over to youtube.com/TechNewsGadget. And by the way, if you're watching this show and you're ever wondering, hey, could I pick up this show while I'm on the go? Yes, you certainly can. Podcast option is available. Just search for it, TechNewsGadget or Latest in Tech News. You will find us. We are there. So, in our feature story today, it looks like, well, you remember Season 10? Dropping for Fortnite? I still haven't had a chance to play. I've been too busy doing too many things. You have no idea, but it's all interesting and fun. But albeit, Fortnite has some interesting fun changes coming of its own. Fortnite's map is going to be changing constantly for the next few months in Season 10 as the game brings back old locations or warps existing spots into new ones. And thanks to a new update to the game and a bit of data mining, we know exactly what's coming next, so you guys might want to listen up. Now, if you head on over to Neo Tilted currently, you will see a very strange device in the city. From the game files, it's called the Rift Beacon, and presumably a bit of tech that can summon time and space bending rift, and tech that is almost 100 built and controlled by the visitor, judging by the looks of it. And I'm kind of getting annoyed by all these ads popping up. I'm sorry, welcome to Forbes.com, where they just lambast you with ads, and you can't block them. I would prefer to have an option, but whatever. There's one piece on one end that looks like this, a kind of solar panel with a pulsing purple circle emanating what appears to be vapors. Now, if you follow the power cable attached to it, it'll take you to a second device, some kind of generator with rocket-like controls on it. It gets really weird. You see, you can't go inside it. You also can't damage or destroy any of these items. They're fixed. So what's happening? Well, that's something we know as well. data miners have essentially unearthed the entire city layout of what's going to be called Tilted Town, an Old West version of the Tilted Towers that is not reverting it back to its original pre-Neo state, but instead going further back in time to an era when the city was first being built up. And you can actually see the picture of it on the screen right now. We got a screenshot of the whole thing. It's not clear if Tilted Town will stay in place all season, but you can check out what it's going to look like in some capacity. We've already seen indicators of other locations possibly returning to the map, from Wailing Woods to Moisty Mire to Flush Factory to Lazy Links. Yes! My prediction proved true, where time is bending and old items or plants are returning to reclaim their old zones. Now, it's not clear if there are going to be any other locations like this where we'll see things travel back or forward to time zones we haven't seen before. We kind of already did this with Tomato Town, Tomato Temple, but I'm kind of curious what's going to happen in Tilted. Now, for those of you wondering, this will probably happen at reset on Thursday, so keep an eye on this device and whatever happens after the patch goes live. Not sure if it will just blink into existence or if we'll actually see this device activate in some other way. If you see another one of these show up in another area, you should know that this is a point of interest about to be wiped out and transformed in some way. And I guess there is an update. This looks like it happened a little bit earlier today. The device is starting to generate a rift. Interesting. So, that's all I'm going to say for now. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments if you're watching today's show. Always love hearing from you guys. So, what do you think is going to happen? See, I called it. I called it like a week or two ago when I covered what was going to happen. I said, I hope they bring back Lazy Links. Turns out I was right. It's coming back. And I'm kind of happy about it because there's only so much I can enjoy with a pirate ship bay. I don't know. Although, granted, the pirate ship bay has been a boon for me in terms of better loot. I kind of like Lazy Links a little bit more. But what do you think? What will be next? What will be changed? Will be going further back in time on other things or forward in time? I don't know. This is all really interesting. All these rift beacons popping up, changing things, mixing things up. I don't know. Time will tell exactly what happens. So I think that wraps it up for the feature story. Let's head on over to our next article. Alright, so we got some gadget news for you guys. The NEC's passenger drone is taking a short test flight in Japan, but if you're wondering, don't expect to hitch a ride in it for the next several years. Now, as I've covered in previous shows, there's going to be a lot of testing going on, and we're going to have to find out what exactly happens, if we're able to make it feasible for a passenger drone or not. So Japan is eager to become a leader in the passenger drone industry. NEC Corp nudged the nation a step closer to that goal on Monday with a demo of a people-carrying quadcopter, which stayed in the air for about a minute. The company operated the flight inside a safety cage at a test facility in Abiko, a Tokyo suburb. Now, the battery-powered drone didn't actually have a passenger inside, as it rose to a height of about 10 feet for a few moments before returning back to the ground. It was just a demo of a vehicle that they're hoping that'll work out, and then they can make more tests from there. According to Bloomberg, its partner Cartivator aims to start mass production in 2026. Japan is a densely populated country, and that means flying cars could greatly alleviate the burden on road traffic. Let's see, somebody told Bloomberg. I don't know. Sorry if I seem like I'm phasing out a little bit. I had a long day. I've had a long weekend, long week, but they are positioning themselves as an enabler for air mobility, providing location data, and building communications infrastructure for flying cars. Now, under Japan's infrastructure plan, deliveries made by drones are scheduled to start by 2023. The government hopes to allow people to travel in the machines in the following decade. Venture capitalists in Japan, meanwhile, are investing in autonomous aircraft companies through their drone fund. And, oh, look, they actually have video of this drone in operation. Hey, look at that. We're not going to be playing a full video, but if you guys are interested, I will have a link to all of the articles that we covered today in the show notes over at TechNewsGadget.net. Now, there's a little bit of of a downside to all of this passenger drone stuff because there's a hurdle. They have battery life, regulatory and safety hurdles to overcome. NEC's machine weighs about 150 kilograms and is around 3.9 meters long, 3.7 meters wide, and 1.3 meters tall. Add some bodies and that's a considerable mass to keep in the air safely for any length of time. So keep in mind also, NEC isn't the only one building autonomous flying vehicles, of course. The United Arab Emirates, New Zealand, and Singapore are also hoping to make waves in industry, while private companies like Uber, Volvo's parent company, and Google co-founder Larry Page's Kitty Hawk are working on such machines too. However, here's a defining difference. NEC and Cartivator might hold an advantage over rival businesses thanks to Japan's government support. Cartivator already has a permit for outdoor flights, so remains to be seen what will come out of this, but definitely good news all around. Okay, now I had to include this article just for fun and giggles, as much as you say, hey, making stuff up. Nope, I'm not making stuff up. And why would anybody buy this? I have no idea. Well, here you go. Valid reason. Although I think some furries are now upset because they're like, hey, this is supposed to be for us. And now the older people are like, no, it's supposed to mean for me. And if you're wondering what in the world I'm talking about, I'm looking at a picture of a robotic tail. Apparently it could help reduce the risk of falling for elderly people, according to Japanese scientists. Now, Japanese researchers have created a robotic tail, which they claim can do just that, and improve human balance. The tail prototype, called ARC, is based on a seahorse's tail and uses a series of artificial vertebrae and 4 pneumatic muscles to move. Researchers from Keio University say they hope the 71-centimeter tail will have a range of applications, including helping people to balance when carrying heavy loads. The tail's modular construction means that vertebrae can be added or removed as needed to make it longer or shorter. And, well, let's see a little bit of this video. What's going on here? When you look at that, furries, you can enjoy this if that's what you want. Elderly people, you can enjoy having a tail, or if you just want to have a robotic tail, just cause you never know when you might need one. I mean, they're showing some examples here, walking up steps, or well, don't deliberately trip up the steps. So obviously they're making the case for if you had a tail attachment, you'd be able to better balance yourself in these kind of situations. So what do you guys think? Crazy story. I had to include it though. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so post below down in the comments. Mine was, do we have to? But I mean, I guess if you have to and you see a need, might as well see what you can do to help out there. And it might be beneficial overall in terms of, robotics and learning about how to do this or how to change that or any number of things. So it's nothing really too bad. I just think it's weird and funny. But yeah, there you go. All right, our final article for today, and I know I'm just flying through the articles today. It's because it's late, I'm kind of tired, I'd like to get the show wrapped up, but I wanted to make sure to record it to get some information out to you guys. It's not a full show, it's a part of a show. I'm also trying to maybe keep it a little bit shorter so you guys can get the information you want, you need, you enjoy. So let me know down in the comment section if you like these shorter episodes or if you like the longer episodes, if you prefer I do a longer episode. I know I had mentioned like last week that I should really try and attempt to go back to live streaming on Mixer. It's just, if I told you the things that I have going on currently behind the scenes, essentially me live streaming on Mixer on a regular daily basis, at least Monday to Friday, for me, I would have to clone myself. I would have to have 2 me's running around doing the work. I almost feel like I'm at the point where I do need 2 me's, and the 2 me's will be both involved full time in everything that the 1 me is doing. So yeah, but I love this story. It's hilarious. It's total troll, as it were. But then again, this is the internet, so what do you guys expect? Apparently, Twitch's salty response to Ninja is perfect. Well, duh. Last week, Fortnite streamer Tyler Ninja Blevins made a surprising announcement. He revealed he's leaving Twitch, a platform on which he has 14 million followers. They forget to mention the fact that he's not an overnight success, as some people have alluded to. He's been streaming on it for like the past decade almost, if not then some. So he's leaving Twitch to begin streaming on Mixer full-time. Mixer is, of course, Microsoft's own game streaming platform, and it isn't nearly as popular as Twitch is in terms of traffic. I wonder why. In short, having Ninja come over to Mixer is a huge boon for Microsoft, and it's likely the two entities struck a very attractive deal for Ninja, at least, to make the switch happen. There's no lack of popular streamers on Twitch, but Ninja was among the biggest, so one has to wonder how Twitch is handling Ninja's departure. Oh, and here's exactly how they're handling it. So here's the funny thing. If you go over to twitch.tv/ninja, it seems that Twitch might just be a little bit salty about the whole ordeal. Twitch is apparently assuming that there will be a lot of confused people who missed his announcement and come looking for him to be live streaming on Twitch, only to find nothing but an inactive profile. To help ensure those fans don't all bounce away from Twitch and wind up on Mixer, Twitch has replaced Ninja's profile with a listing that features popular Fortnite channels which are currently live. And the listing reads above this like little category of other Fortnite streamers. The text reads, "The ninja you're looking for is in another castle. Check out these popular live channels below." I figured, like, this is what we do. People are like, "Oh my god, they're salty. Yeah, suck it. You guys all suck." No, this is how people interact with each other on the internet. It isn't just... I don't have to explain it myself, do I? Okay, that's what I thought. If I do need to explain myself, send me a private message on Twitter, and I'll try to help and explain it at TechNewsGadget, but otherwise... At the time of this writing, streamers like Tim the Tatman, Simfunny, and Dr. Lupo top that list with a little more than 65,000 viewers between the three of them. Unless Tfue happens to pop on, then he usually takes the top slot right there. Normally, whenever you visit a channel that isn't live on Twitch, you'd simply see a slide telling you that the streamer is offline, assuming the streamer has created and uploaded one, and their chat to the right of the usual video player. With this change, you'll no longer see Ninja's video player, chat, or stream information, although you still can watch his 901 videos that are still accessible. We'll see how well Ninja fares on Mixer, along with who will fill the gap he left behind on Twitch soon enough. Also, what are your thoughts? Post in the comments down below. Alright, and with that wraps up this episode of the Latest in Tech News. Thanks for tuning in, guys. New episodes every weekday. The Latest in Tech News can be found on every major platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Stitcher, Overcast, and more. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to let us know by clicking that like button down below and leaving a comment if you're watching it via video. And if you're listening to the podcast, hey, could you leave us a quick review out on Apple Podcasts? We really, really appreciate it. That's what helps us grow and talk about this show or share it with a friend. Also, double check that you are subscribed so that you don't miss the next episode. I'm your host, Taylor Merrick, and remember, for the latest in tech, gadget, and gaming news, visit TechNewsGadget.net. Pretty much, keep being awesome, guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.